Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 24th episode of our House of Light first playthrough on YouTube. Something of a muddled day, and but we'll make do. So I've been making some inks in preparation for a salon. However, I'm also conscious of the fact that the salon will need more elements of the soul. So I've also been wanting to level up my. Oop, forgot to shelve Etery after. I believe that gave us a hindsight. So. Which shelf was the hindsight, though? I think it's... yeah. But yeah, so I did make a judgment call in terms of leveling up Desires and Dissolutions rather than get another ink. I think more or less I'm going to keep to the plan that I originally had. So it's a little bit of a... There's no... I'm trying to think of the right way to put this. Like, there's no perfect solution to... to where I am right now. There's going to be some trade-offs no matter what. But I figured the number of things that I'm trying to do right now, I can do with my existing resources. And again, if it means that I need to give something up for the next day. Essentially, what I want to try and do is all of these next steps that I'm going to take, ideally are going to involve a minimum amount of effort on my part. So for instance, if I want to try and make an ink, let's say, tomorrow, that'll only take a minute. And if I want to start the salon late in the evening, well then that's fine. That still gives me enough time to bring back the tryst. So that's kind of where I'm thinking in terms of this. And again, the weather will sometimes have some effects in terms of where the day winds up going. But I think the setup that I have right now, I am reasonably confident in my ability to deliver on the objectives in a reasonable amount of time. All right, dark and pungent. Catwink. The smell of catwink puts off vermin, but it is very difficult to read in sunlight. An ink of containment. Now, the other thing that's nice here, so if I'm leveling up inks of containment, this does mean that I can actually get by without using tryst when generating inks. Doesn't get me off the hook in terms of the memories, unfortunately, but there is still, like, I have options, I guess is what it comes down to. I'm trying to think what I want to do with the sweet bones. I can't really bring back an element of this. Well, actually I can. You know what? I think I'm going to sacrifice a tryst overnight. And get the ink I need. So we will read the Locksmith's Dream again. I'm going to restore a tryst. It is winter and the storms have tightened the seas. I am sitting before the fire and the sweet bones with the beef and potato pasty in one hand and a hot ale posset in the other. So this tryst is going to be used to level up inks of containment. And of course, we'll see what Denzel winds up giving me. I should also send Fraser Strathcoine's invitation, so let's get that out of the way now. So I think Hill and Hollow was the best I had. Yeah. So one short, but of course we can use the fear for that. So I have enough here to craft a letter inviting Strathcoine to Brankrug. He does a lot with silence, this man. Now we just need to post it. And again, currently we don't have... Well, I do have inks, but just not an ink that I'm willing to use right now. The skill is now level 3. Its power aspects have also increased. So, in the interests of kind of taking... I want to make sure that I take take the things that are guaranteed. So there is always more to learn. Improve the skill to level 2. This will increase its aspects, which will help with crafting and make it suitable for higher branches in the Tree of Wisdoms, if you haven't already committed it. Now the bigger dilemma here is what I do with this other Inks of Containment. So I can use that to raise up pentiments and precursors. I can use it to level up. I could use it to make Hill and Hollow level 3. I could use it to level up Furs and Feathers. There's actually a number of different things that I can do with that that are not just about raising up Inks of Containment. But on the other hand, if I do level it up, I can potentially get past the whole problem of having to generate a relevant memory. So we're almost at the end of the day, which will lock me in terms of things that I can do with Denzel. In fact, I think this is the last memory that I get from him. Night has fallen, dawn will come soon. In fact, I think at this point, let's just say we will... I'm going to commit to cataloging some books. So in this case, one more Dawn Period book. This book was probably written around the time of Hush House's Dawn Period, sometime before the end of the first millennium, commonly reckoned. If I examine it, I can learn more about what knowledge it might contain. And then the one that's less likely to have a curse would be the Nocturnal Period book. Worth noting that this is the last of the ones that are less likely to have a curse. So this book was probably written around the time of Hush House's Nocturnal Period, after the turn of the century. If I examine it, I can learn more about what knowledge it might contain. Okay, move gingerly while the pain lasts. And the skill is now level 2. Its power aspects have also increased. And here we're just waiting on the locksmith stream in 13 seconds. Like I said, this will be... Or we're also waiting on the restored tryst. So we know that we're going to lose this overnight. However, I can also bring it back at the Sweet Bones right at the beginning of the day, so it's not an immediate concern. Better now. I don't think I have any other... Or no, I do have the memory from Denzel I need to worry about. The second volume of Teresa Galmier... Sorry, Locksmith's Dream, Portions and Proportions. The second volume of Teresa Galmier's examination of the parallels in the mystic dreams of artisans. The frontispiece has been slashed with a razor. In this volume, Galmier records fewer dreams and explicates more on her own elaborate theories. We see this again and again. What is below can't escape what is above. The finest artisans all dream of the white door in the end. I'm no artisan, only a scholar. I think there's a secret that all these artisans know, but I think that secret is only half the story. So again, we'll go to the reading room desk, we'll apply our tryst, we'll apply the confounding parable, we will apply our newly enhanced Inks of Containment. I don't need to worry about the lunar globe at this point. Brewing minor ink with a virtue against vermin. So in practical terms, what this will do is this will actually free up my tryst. So the idea here will be that the tryst takes the same role as the... It takes the same role as the lunar globe does. So if I want, I can take an Inks of Containment, a 2 moon memory, and then I can use, you know, an Arab, a health, a shapt, whatever the case may be. The Arab is probably the most useful out of those, but it frees up the tryst for me to do something else with it. Now, I do need to save a memory. I think really just the Cheerful Ditty is the only one that I can do anything with. Well, clearly that was mistaken. I am, however, going to hang on to the Cheerful Ditty for the simple reason that it's something that Denzel can't generate on his own. And I think it will be worth it for me to try and... Yeah, okay. So I think it's going to be worth it for me to try and host the salon tomorrow. I don't want to put everything on hold, so I'm going to want to be kind of careful in terms of what I commit and when I commit it. But I think we're in a position where I can sort of do everything that I want. Like, it just doesn't take that much in terms of elements of the soul to be able to level up the things that I want. And if we're going to be hosting the salon later in the evening, I'll have enough time to be able to restore them. So now I have an idea of this book's nature and its contents. The Book of the Extinguished Heart in the days of the Shadowless Kings, Anais Lazali was executed for prophesying the division of the sun. If any of his captors grew long, they'd probably feel rather abashed now. So this kind of organization is a bit of a mess now. Actually, maybe I have a Mandaic shelf? I do. And From History to Eternity, this is a neat one. A contraband manual of the Inks of Revelation. The author explains in a brief foreword she is a high-ranking officer of an agency of the duties, and that though she supports its mission, she has concerns about the long-term consequences of its work. So unfortunately, we are short on moth. So we're going to go on the too tough shelf. Okay, so we kind of have our marching orders for tomorrow. I'm going to bring Denzel in so that I can have a nice source of memories. One of the questions that I should ask would be, what do I do with the Inks of Containment? So I can use it to level up Cyclone Eclipse, Cyclone Eclipse, Oronoscopy, Insects and Nectars, Snow Stories, and Wolf Stories, or Snow Stories, Sights and Sensations, Rhyme and Remembrance, and Ragged Crossroads, although those may not be the most relevant. So I did say that I could bring up Ragged Crossroads if I had one other in Skolakosophy. So my options there. Ooh. Oh, no. Yeah, okay. The real shame on this one is if I'd used Desires and Dissolutions to level up Pentiments and Precursors, and then Inks of Containment to level up Desires and Dissolutions, it would have been good. But I didn't, so I can't. So unless I read one of these books, I don't think I have what it takes to be able to take advantage of Inks of Containment. This, of course, leaves me with some questions about... Actually, there is one thing I want to look at. Yeah, so I think Rhyme and Remembrance I was going to put into Birdsong, but I think the first level for that was going to be Rhyme and Remembrance. Now, I mean, if it comes down to that, let's just see... Yeah, so I need Horomachistry to... Horomachistry is a real blocker for a lot of things. I mean, I can try and put it to Rhyme and Remembrance, but I don't know. There's something to me... I think I'm overdoing it in terms of what I want to try and do with Inks of Containment, right? Like, so I'm focusing a lot on what can I put to the Tree of Wisdoms right now in order to achieve my goals. And the fact of the matter is, none of my goals, as they are right now, are equipped for... none of these are equipped to level up the things that I want. The branches that I can currently work with are Bosk Preservation, Bosk Preservation and Skolakosophy. So none of the Skolakosophy skills that are relevant to me right now will use Winter or Moon. Preservation is a little bit of a funny one because there are things like Edicts Inviolable, which actually oh yeah, hang on. So if I can level up okay, no, we do have something with Edicts Inviolable. And in fact, I have in 19 seconds, I'm going to have something that lets me level up Edicts Inviolable. Perfect. Okay. So now I know what I'm doing. In fact, I know so much that I'm going to take this Tryst, I'm going to take the Edict's Marshal, we're going to make a new old wound. I'm going to take my Arab, and I'm going to bring in Denzel. I'm always welcome at Denzel's Smithy. Denzel rarely works for free, but he won't take payment for helping a friend. But if you find occult coinage, you can give it to him for the service of division. And you know what? I think I might just throw the... No, we can wait. If I don't get a memory that's relevant, what I may do is just throw the Tryst into an invitation to Madame Bichet. Alright, so again, we still want to get our elements of the soul back, so Tuppence will buy me a hearty meal and a quiet place where I can rest and gather my thoughts. Speak with Denzel, he might even reply. And I should maybe take a minute, so with the hail here, Denzel already has 2 edge. Yes, okay, I should be taking some time to think about this. In fact, we also have some sky from the... Okay, so this one's a bit of a no-brainer, really. So if we have Denzel, we can use the Gloomy Stare with Denzel. We can add the Hail, which will take him up to 5, and then we just add a Saw. We don't even use one of our elements of the soul. But let's see if we can use this to get deeper into the house. So the highest difficulty edge that I have to work with for Denzel is the Dim Hall. It's going to take 8. Okay, so 2. So we're up to 5. 6. So I mean, really the answer there would be some kind of a memory with 2 edge. The funny thing is I don't actually think we have contradiction yet. So fears, impulses, intuitions, hindsight, foresight, confounding parables, revelations, patterns, oh, no, there it is. Okay. So it's going to be... Again, I'm committing a little bit more than I wanted over the course of the day, but we can still work with this. So I'm ready, but for what? So here we will read an Exorcist's Field Manual. I've already mastered this, but I could reread it and perhaps recall a memory. Here we've got the cat wink. So I think, like I said, I might just want to use this to invite Madame Bichet right away. Actually, I can't do that now because this Tryst is going to be occupied. I'm going to use it to level up the Inks of Containment. So at this point I want to be a little bit careful in terms of how much... I've already committed several minutes to restoring certain elements of the soul. So Edicts Inviolable, let's take the Inks of Containment, the Old Wound, and the Cheerful Ditty, then we use the Tryst. I'm no expert, but I'm no dabbler either. Improve the skill to level 3. Again, if I am in a pinch, I can use the Occult Scrap. But I'm at the point now where I want to bring all of this stuff back. So bring back the Tryst, bring back the Arab. Right now, out of things that I have committed... Yeah. Quite a bit. He does a lot with silence, this man. Okay, so let's have a chat about the hail. Talk about the weather, more useful than one might expect, especially in Britain. I also need to wait for the time to actually get everybody invited, so that's also a challenge. This skill is now level 3, its power aspects have also increased, so one of my answers here, I'm going to start pouring some water. Serve appropriately. Pour out. Pour it out. So I'm going to use this to bring back the metal that I'm going to give Denzel. I think it takes a minute to invite the guests. So the next thing I'm going to bring back is move gingerly while the pain lasts. So the problem I have right now is that Denzel's not generating any memories. But I've got, like I said, I've got my game plan. So we're going to regenerate the Tryst. Let's take advantage of the weather while it lasts. Because I'm going to be taking down an element of the soul, we'll collaborate. We'll use the metal here. Well, I guess it doesn't matter, actually. My pride will find an echo in theirs. Boosts Grail and Edge. So that one we're going to bring back with the glass of water. An Exorcist Field Manual, a practical... Why did I think... I've already given Denzel the... I already gave Denzel a memory. I think I really blew it for... Okay, let's see if I can recover it. So for some reason, I forgot that weather was a memory. So I would need... So the pickled mushrooms will help, but then I also need a drink with Edge. The Cater and Hero... Yeah. The tea saves me. Unless I need to brew it, and then I'm going to be sad. Not looking good. Yeah, the cuckoo honey is too much to give up. Pickled mushrooms I can give up. But sadly, the relevant tea has been used. Okay, so I'm going to cut my losses here. It's a shame that I have used my skills this way, but... Oh, I completely forgot to read the text. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I've made a couple of blunders, but we can still use Denzel to open up the stairs here, but I'm not going to commit any more elements of the soul, because then we can't do the salon. So the next priority right now is going to be restoring the relevant elements of the soul, particularly the Tryst. So this Tryst here is going to be used to generate Madame Bichet's invitation. The Arab I'm going to get back with the water. But again, if we're going to start the salon in the evening, we need to make sure that we're actually ready to go. Now, if it goes overnight, then sort of I get a restoration of the elements, but we don't need to try and get too clever with this. Right now, this is a matter of committing what I can, and then if I need a particular element of the soul, I commit the relevant skills to achieve that. So let's move on to implementation. So we've got an Arab. That's going to take 90 seconds to restore, but 1 minute of that is going to be the various characters coming in, so I'm not too worried about that. A quick nap in a warm bed with something comforting to drink while the winds chase the clouds and the clouds chase the sun. Now if I get lucky, I'm going to get a moth from Denzel. Better now. And impulse. Perfect. Okay. So we don't use this to write the invitation now. I'm still going to restore the moth, the Tryst though. Tuppence will buy me a hearty meal and a quiet place where I can rest and gather my thoughts. It's winter and the storms have tightened the seas. I'm sitting before the fire in the sweet bones with a beef and potato pasty in one hand and a hot ale posset in the other. So Denzel's already up to 6. Edge, like I said, we don't have the tea. We're not worrying about any of those details. We're just gonna focus on memory generation at this point. Speak to Denzel. He might even reply. So we have 2 minutes before. We have 2 minutes of restoration that we need to do. However, we'll probably start the salon before all the elements of the soul are restored. So at this point, let's make Olympi's invitation. Request Olympi's presence. I have enough here to craft a letter inviting Olympi to Brandkrug. And I don't even need to wait to finish the letter. We can actually start sending the invitations out now. So, send an invitation to a visitor. Stamp, envelope, send. The postmistress examines the letter and deems it sufficient. It'll go with the next post, she assures me. Corso. Arthur. Fraser. Olympi. Alright, so we now have a 1-minute countdown before we can do the salon. That doesn't mean that we will. But it's just nice to have these kind of these guidelines in mind. So we'll keep talking with Denzel. I will very likely not use any of these, but it's sort of nice to know I have the option. There is a bit of a dilemma here in terms of knowing whether it's going to be Trist or Shapt that I need for the conversations. I think I'm going to bring back the Trist, then the Shapt, but one of these will definitely not be available at the start of the salon. Better now. I deserved a little quiet time. Actually, if I think sensibly about this, he does a lot to silence this man. So let's think about what I currently have available. It's going to take 1 minute for me to get this Trist back. So with a 1-minute timer, then I'm going to bring the Shapt back, and that's going to take another minute. So the more sensible thing for me to do is to actually have a glass of water in bed. That will reduce it down to a 90-second wait. So, quick nap in a warm bed with something comforting to drink while the winds chase the clouds and the clouds chase the sun. Serena has arrived. I think I'll do the descriptions of the dishes and the guests when we're ready to start the salon, because I think that would be something good for the start of the next stream. Okay. One more. So this is, out of all of the salons that I've done, this is probably one of the, even though it feels like bumper cars getting here, I actually think this might be one of the better organized ones that I've had, because I was actually able to use my elements of the soul over the course of the day. Yeah, so I don't want a late lunch. I want dinner. But I think I will call it here. So, like I said, it was a bit of a crazy start, but in 30 seconds we're going to have we're going to get a tryst back, and then in 1 minute we're going to get the shaft back. The timing may still not work out for me. I think I will wait to hear the bells, and I'll wait to hear the bells and birds just to make sure that we're in evening. And part of that's just because I do get an extra attempt. And again, the time that we spent leveling up the different skill or the different elements of the soul are so that I can get the different skills are so that I can get the elements of the soul if the Salon calls for them. So I still think it's unlikely that I'm going to satisfy all of the challenges, but we're in a better position to do so than if I had done it at the beginning of the day. So we'll see where it all goes, but obviously we will find the answer to that tomorrow for what I believe will be our first Salon of this playthrough. Look forward to seeing you there. Until then, take care.